hopefully this will work good. So I cut all the stuff today, and now I'm going to do some sanding. I'm going to trim these things out. I'm going to trim all the ramp bucks out, make the ramp bucks, and hopefully get things formed before my phone dies. So we'll see. I think I have about 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours to do this. Otherwise, I'm going to have to restart again without the phone being on. And let's fix this video a little bit. Come up higher, and look a little bit more down as to what I'm doing. Yeah, so this is the backboard and side rails. So first step is to cut this stuff out and sand it down, or at least get it out of the way, out of the skeletons. Because if you remember, I added tabs, and the tabs are keeping all these things in. Here's the basically used up wood. I have a couple pieces left on this, so I'm not going to get rid of it, but it's largely used. Here's the right side rail, or the left side rail, the backboard, and the plunger rail. Like, yay. So that's, that'll fit on the layout. So I'll sand these down later on, because I really want to get these ramps done while I have battery power. Alright, where did I put all this stuff? I misplaced something. Hang on. Where did I put my top pieces? Oh no, I already cut them out. That's right. I'm dumb. I already cut my pieces out. So, I posted a picture of this. So these are all the ramp flanges, and they're black on the top, but when I mount everything, I'm going to mount them upside down where the white is, where this whiteboard, so it's nice and glidey. So those are out of the way already. But I do need to cut out the other pieces, because I kind of wanted to show this process complete. So this is the half-inch set. It's the half-inch. And I'm going to do a quick sand while it's still in, because it's easier to sand some of these pieces and get them like flat smooth when they're still in the wood stock. For anyone who cares, I think this is 80 grit or something that I'm sanding with right now. Really, it's just a rough to get all the little fuzzies and everything off of this thing. Alright, 1/2 inch. Alright, so these are 1/2 inch ramp pieces, and I want my ramps to be 1 1/4 inch deep, so they do a 1/2 inch and a 3/4 inch cut, and that becomes 1 1/4 inch. So likewise with this, I'll do a quick sand. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright. Let's finish knocking this stuff out. Where's the hammer? Over here. I'm running out of room over there. Okay. All these pieces are knocked out. We got sawdust everywhere. I don't need this anymore. I'm going going to vacuum some of this up. Okay, so now, when I assemble these things, let's take this one for example. So the ramp kind of goes in this direction. Let me get the flange that goes with it. The ramp basically goes in this direction. Or, I'm sorry, this direction, right? But when I assemble it, I got to assemble it, as you can see, upside down. If I don't assemble it upside down, then it will form mirrored. So I assemble it this way. That way, when I flip it upside down, it'll be correct. But I also want this piece, this thicker piece, to be the piece that the ball rides on, because 3/4 of an inch, the ball will be right inside of this. Take a ball. See, the ball rides right alongside that. I really rather it not ride on a seam. See, that would ride more on a seam. So I kind of want this on the bottom. And I always screw this up. So it's got to go like this. Like that. So that would be one ramp buck. And I'm going to be gluing this and I'm going to be stapling it. This would be the next ramp buck. This, well, I get this one in my hand. This goes this way. This would be the third ramp buck, and this one would be the fourth ramp buck. So these are the 4 pieces I'm going to be making, and then when I flip them upside down to form it, they'll form the correct way. So I'm going to move all these out of the way. Now notice I haven't sanded off all the extra little tab sections yet. I'm not going to do that until at least these pieces are put together. That way when I sand it, it gets sanded to equal on both sides, and I don't accidentally sand too far on one side than the other. The other thing that needs to be done, which I can use scraps from something, is the little diagonal pieces I want to put at the bottom of the entry sections. Because right at the bottom here, there's going to be a little diagonal piece that will help guide and bend up the ramp. That'll be covered up by the ramp flap. I am looking for that. I am looking for... not that. Oh, that. Over here. Which is here, and my air. Okay. Wait. I tend to wear safety goggles when I use air guns and things. Some people don't. I don't know. You do you. I'd rather be a little safer than not. I also need... so for that, it's 3/4 inch. What are you? You're 1 inch. 1 inch is fine. 1 inch will work, because this is 1/2 inch stock. The 1 inch just go through enough, you know, right into there. And yeah, this is a Harbor Freight nail gun, and it works fine. Now, I don't get Harbor Freight nail or staples. I get, you know, good DeWalt and related staples, generally speaking. But this Harbor Freight nail gun, staple gun, is actually pretty good. It's what I've used for all my cabinets and playfields and everything. My glue is right here. Alright. Really? Open up. The glue glued itself. I think a little bit of persuasion from some pliers will take care of it. Alright. Okay. And I need paper towels. Because this is going to get a little drippy. I'm rubbing it back and forth like this to help spread the glue out. Some people use paintbrushes to spread the glue out. I'm not that precise, so yeah. Okay, and just got to make sure everything's lined up properly. It seems to be. So I want this end is important. Then this entrance here is important. And this entrance here is important. Alright, this is in good shape. So now I can go and I can sand these flush because they're going to be equal. And same with this, I can sand that flush. I can sand all these other tabs flush without any problems. And I can make sure everything's curved, but this attached pretty well. I'm not going to sand yet until I do the other ones because I might as well just do it all at once. So that was one down, or part of one down at least. Now this one, same process. Throw some glue down in here. And your hands will get dirty with this because glue, but oh well. Okay, so the exit here is an important piece. That's going to be lined up. The entrance here is an important piece. And everything else falls into place. a bunch of this extra glue now, so it doesn't drip everywhere. And most of this glue will be dry by the time we do a pull in about an hour. Maybe less, maybe half an hour. This is going quick. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, now these two pieces are the lift pieces. Here's the first lift. Now notice how big this flange is. That's because there's a mounting point on that over here and over here. So the flange has to go out a little bit. This is the last one. And for anyone wondering why my compressor is going on so often, it's because I only have a little pancake compressor. You know, the cheapest Harbor Freight thing possible. But it works fine. Someday I'll get a bigger compressor. I just need to get more power into this garage before I do that. Alright, so now that I have all these... No, don't do that. Now that I have all these things together, I can sand a couple of the sections, and I'll explain what I will and won't sand in a moment. Okay, so let's talk about this piece, for example. This piece goes on like this, right? Now, if you notice, these ends match up perfectly, and these ends match up perfectly, right? See that? So the only tabs I want to trim off are going to be these middle ones, right? Because once I attach this, I can't get to those middle ones. But I still want these ends to be all even together and these ends to be all even together. And it's similar to some of these others. Like this one right here. These ends, I want to be, you know, flush. So the tabs, all tabs there will get taken care of. All tabs here will get taken care of at once. But these tabs in the middle here, you know, I can't get once I attach. So I'm going to do all the middle tabs first on my sander right over there. I'll move this over. Then I'll attach these things on, these flanges on. Then I'll do the end caps to make everything flush. Then I'll attach the little lifts on the 2 ramp pieces I need, and finally drill air holes. So we're not that far away from being done. Well, so this part of the garage is a little messy, so sorry about that. So there's my sander that I'm going to use for this. Yep. I'm going to enable the air on this. That goes there. Oh, I need to plug in the air. Okay, so now my whole air system, you can't see what I'm doing, my whole air system is now connected and sucking out right in here. Almost forgot this piece. Now, this middle piece. Alright, so these are all now done. Alright, next is attaching them to the flanges. So back over here. That's more gluing and stapling. So let's do this one first. Alright, so again, I need to... This ramp is supposed to be like this, so it's got to be attached upside down. But the annoying thing is, I need to attach it on the side. So I gotta, do the best I can to line everything up, looking at, the front and the end points. This one's pretty easy because of how it lines up, but this one's pain in the butt because this is going to be kind of hidden. I only have one point of reference where I have to kind of eyeball and guess on this side. This looks about right. To me, at least. You need a steady hand for this, because it does slide around a lot because of the types of material being used. Alright, well, this wasn't perfect. I mean, if you look at this side, you can see, if I can line this up right, this has more space than this, so it's off by tickle, maybe a millimeter, but I mean it's good enough. And that in turn made this side a little shorter than this side. But again, it's good enough for what I need to do. So, one buck almost done. Let's do this one. This is the other half of this ramp. This is, like I said, one of the ones that's a pain in the butt to line up. This other one won't be that bad because I have 2 points around. Ow. Ow. Got a splinter. Oh, alright. This other one won't be that bad because I have 2 points of reference. This only has 1 point of reference. So let's take care of this pain in the ass first. So the first important point to get is this side. So this needs to be right in the middle, right there. Let's see if I can get this good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, now let's look at this side. This side is fairly centered now. It's centered enough. also a pain in the ass because it's offset when doing that. So I had to kind of guide the staples in a way that's more or less correct. But yeah, this one came out pretty good. I just have lots of extra glue I need to take care of. As glue will not slide very well when I have plastic on this, obviously. And cleaning up the glue later on is not as fun as cleaning it up now. Not that cleaning it up now is fun, but you know what I mean. And I'm pushing down on this to try to squeeze the extra little bit of glue out so it doesn't just creep out over the course of time as it dries. And I'm hoping for some reverse suction too to keep the glue sucked back in when I release the pressure on the wood. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, this ramp buck is basically done. All I need to do is sand this end, and then that's it. Well, I gotta drill some air holes here, and I'll explain that when I get to it. Alright, let's do this one. My 2 points of reference, which is good. So this is the entry point. I really kind of want this as perfect as I can make that. The exit I can Mickey Mouse a little bit. How's everybody doing tonight? There's like 5 of you watching. There's got to be some chatting going on. Alright, I was going to say something. Okay, so you might think I fucked up on this one. See that little nick right here? That was from when I trimmed out the tab. Well, I'm going to round all these things before I do a cut or a pull, because this is really sharp and the plastic won't roll really well. And when I round it all, this will basically go away. So I'm not worried about it. Alright, and the last one. I keep wanting to put this way because I'm so used to like 2 ramp pieces coming out. It's supposed to be this way. It's supposed to be this way. But I actually do need it this way for my point of reference end pieces. Let's line this up. Let's line this up. So having this lined up and this lined up means this will just automatically line up. Shut up, I don't need you anymore. That was the last set that I need to do. Yeah, see? That lined up quite nicely right there, because I lined up these other 2 end caps. Now I just got to get rid of the glue. Then I can sand these suckers down and go on to the last little bit of manipulation I need to deal with, which is those 2 lift pieces. Then it'll be essentially done minus the air holes in the rounding. So this is going fairly quick. These aren't complex ramps either, because I don't have any lifts or any other weird shapes that I need to deal with. And I did that on purpose because I didn't want to deal with it. A couple ramps I made recently for another project. Yeah, they had some weirdnesses to them. But I need to redesign some of those as well. And something like Christmas Countdown I tried to do somewhat flat ramps also with, but that failed miserably. So I ultimately need to remake a couple of those bucks so they have lifts at the beginning, using some of the knowledge I now have on this that I didn't have a year and a half ago. So, even I'm still learning. That's the whole point of doing these things. To just keep learning. Always keep learning. ABL, always be learning. Alright. Okay. I'm going to sand, no. I'm going to work on the lift pieces for these guys, because sanding, well, no, I do need to sand these sections. So let's go sand these pieces quick. And by sanding these pieces, I'm probably just going to do all of them. So, yeah. Let's go back over here. Back to this. I gotta turn the machine back on. That is pissing me off. It's rattling like a son of a bitch. Alright, so now I need to make the flanges, which I think is still going to be over here. But I need some scrap. I'm trying to think if I have scrap. Not easily. So how am I going to do this? Because I need that thing. But I also need this thing. Hang on. Alright, so I think this is going to be my scrap piece right here. So I need to get that out. So I might as well persuade it out. So, I got my scrap. I'm going to clean up over there for a quick sec, because I got a bunch of crap put out. So once I clean out over there, I then need to change the, whatchamacallit, the power up at the top. This needs to go away, this needs to go away. This needs to go away. This needs to go away. Those things are put away. These need to go back up here. I use these all the time, so I don't put these away directly. And that needs to go up there. This needs to go away. This needs to be moved over here. This I don't care about. This I do care about. Okay. So now I need to change my power around. Up here, there. So up here, this is where I swap around my 60 amp 220 volt power to different parts of the garage. Alright, now my this guy works, because that what I just plugged in goes over to this breaker box right over there, or this sub box, which powers this guy. Come on, get a better spot for this. Okay, and you can. Yeah, you can see. All right, so I'm going to use this thing to trim little like corner pieces. Where'd that strap go? Right there. So I'm going to take this, and it's 3/4 inch wide. I'm going to cut little triangles out of this, and those are going to be the little ramp footprints. Again, I'm curious if people are talking. I have no idea. Well, lots of people are watching. The ramps are 1 1/4 inch thick, and 1.5 inch wide by standard. Okay, so here are my two little triangle pieces that I'm going to use. Now, obviously these are too steep. I'm going to sand them down by hand, well, kind of by hand, to make them less steep, and then I'm going to glue them on. So back to the sander, but as I said, I'm going to sand it by hand, which means, I need to find a spot for this to sit. Yeah, which means, you know, just going to do this for a moment. Unless I get lazy, then I'll put power back on. I'm getting lazy. I'm going to put power back on. And I'm going to grab a glove. I'll be right back. Glove. Yay, glove. Maybe if I start like this. Yeah, alright. I mean, that made it much thinner. It also split it in the process, but that's okay, because it's going to be glued on. Now the other one needs to be just as thin. This seemed to work out pretty well. Yep. Stop it. Got a little cockeyed on one side. So, oops. Yeah, see that? There's nothing to grab on this. Ow. Fuck you. Oh, yeah, that fixed it. Okay. So that's those two pieces. Now let's go back over to here. Get them attached. So I got these two things. This goes here-ish. This goes here-ish. And that gives a little bit of a lift. This might be too wide. Oh, for Christ's sake. Well, this one broke now too, so screw it. It's just, it'll be too wide, and it'll like it. Yeah, okay. That's good enough. So I'm going to get that glue. No drippy. No drippy. Alright. Here's the little flange, or the little lift piece. Okay, so I'm going to let these dry a little bit. I'm going to work on sanding that, or the edges on this. By hand. Need a piece of crack paper to get on the inside here. These tight corners are really important to get rounded a little bit, because they're the ones that are going to have the hardest time when you do a pull. Alright, this is good enough. So, on this ramp, if you notice, it's really sharp on that top section, but now look how smooth and curved that is. Hey, see the difference? All around. So this is kind of what you want. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be good enough so it's just not sharp. And I am thirsty. Not sponsored, but could be. Alright, this one's also good enough now. You see the curves on there. And it's all rounded all the way around. Again, not perfect, but good enough. Alright, so now, these guys. Because I do technically need to sand this flange a little bit very carefully. I don't want to pull it out. Not the flange. I keep calling this a flange. The fucking lift. Okay, before I sand this, remember how I said that this was kind of a fuck up right here? Well, this is going to go away now. Hey, guess what? It went away. And I curved this lift a little bit. Alright. Honestly, this is the most tedious part of the whole thing, as I'm sure you can imagine. This is also why you want to get all the glue off first, so you don't have sawdust just gluing to little cracks and holes and things on these ramps. Alright, the last one. And then we're almost at the home stretch. Oh, I forgot to sand these edges off. That's easy to do. those are now smooth. Oh, if anyone's asking, this is 80 grit. Something to notice as I'm sanding this, I'm sanding from the bottom up to the top, and I'm kind of rolling back and forth to make the rounded edges. Sometimes I start off at a 45 degrees to go around to cut in a little bit, but then I go bottom to top, and that rounds it. And this final one is all rounded. You know, I cut in a little bit too much here when trying to get this thing. I mean, this is really flat. All rounded. Almost done. There's one more thing that needs to be done, and then I can actually pull the ramp. So we're only a few minutes away now. So I need air holes. Alright, so what are air holes, you may be asking? Well, they're places for the air to escape on long flat sections or in really sharp locations, which is important, otherwise the pole might not pull. And we don't want non-pulled poles. Okay. Sections like this aren't usually that bad, but sections like this are really bad because the air has no place to go. So you want to put a bunch of holes along the perimeters in the corners. That way the air can get sucked down in nice and tight. So that's the kind of thing I'm going to be adding. So there you go. There's the air holes around this thing. I'm going to go back in and just kind of clean this up quick so there's not like weird ass material in there. But I'm going to do this to the other ramps and then it'll be time to pull. Really small file. Just to go in and get some of the top weird bits without destroying too much of this material. Even though I'm doing a horrible job at it today. Typically I'd use a smaller smaller drill bit for this, but I don't have a smaller one. All my small ones broke, or they're at my shop. So this will have to do. You know, it's not going to be perfect, but it'll be good enough to make the ramps. And that's really all I care. If I want to make something perfect, like I said, I'd probably send out to make it, or to get an aluminum buck made, or just spend a little bit more time on things. Because obviously I'm rushing right now because I'm battery power and I want to get this done for tomorrow. The real deals, I don't rush nearly as much. So this is one full ramp. All right, one more to go. So who's ready to make some ramps? It's time to finally pull the ramp. I'm going to vacuum this up first, though. Oh, come on. Alright, so now I gotta change power over to the former, which is this one. And there's my former. Alright. Now comes the fun part that everybody here's been waiting for. So I keep a bag on that to protect it from the dust and everything because I really don't want the dust to go in. Yeah, Aaron, things are ramping up. Mike, the little thing at the edge of the ramp is a little lift piece. You'll see once I form it. It dictates like how high the thing is when I mount it to the playfield. All right. Underneath the ramps, I put these little spacers so air can flow around the whole thing. Now this is the tricky part, to figure out how to put them in. And I know I designed it in a certain way so they would fit in a certain way. I don't remember what that was. Oh, I think this was at the bottom, right? Went more in like that. I think this was it, right? I mean, everything fits. So this is going to be the layout for the ramps, for the forming. Some more for this one. Don't I have large washers in here? Yeah. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some plastic. Alright, so this is black ABS, 1/8 inch thick. On one side it has a texture, and the other side it's smooth. I want the texture side up. That way the smooth side is what goes on the ramps themselves. And I'm going to adjust you. Now, when I actually do the pull, I'm going to mute the mic because it gets really fucking loud. And this is going to be right next to it. So let's lower everybody down. So you can all kind of see what's kind of happening. Can I go a little lower? I can. There we go. Alright, so what you're going to witness is when I turn the heater on, this, after about a minute or two, is going to sag. Once it sags a certain amount, I'm going to lower it down. I'm going to let it rest for a moment, and then I'm going to hit the vacuum, and everything's going to form in. Now, one other thing I have is a hot air gun, so if something doesn't form right, I can kind of make some adjustments while the vacuum's on. Now, the nice thing about ABS, or at least this ABS, is it forms really cleanly compared to like polycarbonate. I usually use polycarbonate if I want something clean and clear. But for prototyping or for ramps that are in the back you're never going to see through, like, black is fine and it's easy to use. It's like $2 or $3 cheaper. Like, this sheet costs me, I think, $23 or some such. And the polycarbonate, the clear polycarbonate 3/32 sheet is like $27 or something. It's like a couple bucks more. But the problem with the polycarbonate is it's porous, so it can get condensation in it. It can get condensation in it, which means it will bubble if you don't dehumidify it ahead of time. Now, I don't have a dehumidifier for these things. Those are thousands of dollars, and I've already spent thousands of dollars on other things. Someday I'll get it. So what I tend to do if I want to do clear, the moment it arrives from the factory, like it's like a day trip from the factory, I have everything prepared and I pull. Then I don't have to worry so much about bubbles. Also, if I do it in the winter, it's really dry here in New England during the winter, so it's another good time to do it. And I just got the 20% warning on my phone, so hopefully this will pull down, and you'll be able to see me do some cuts on it before my phone decides to crap out. What I might do is, once this pulls, I might start another stream with my phone plugged in to like power. The microphone won't be nearly as good, unfortunately, but it'll at least allow everybody to see how I do all the cutting of these things and finishing, and then some tests on the whitewood that's right over there before I bring everything tomorrow. And I will do a full stream tomorrow of the population of that playfield, or in the morning, and then in the afternoon play tests of it. But it is getting warm. I mean, eventually it'll start sagging. It's cold out. It's cold in the room I pulled it out of. I have this in the house where there's more dry heat, so there's at least less less condensation on the thing. But you'll see when I pull it down, it's actually smoking quite a bit because of how ABS works. It's quite funny. Oh yeah, you can. I don't know if you can see it starting to bubble, but it should pull down in a minute. And as I said, when I'm about to lift it down, I need to do everything kind of quick, so I'm going to mute the microphone before I lift it, so it's going to be quiet, but I'm still going to be doing these things. I think you can start seeing it wobble a little bit under there. Anyway, it's getting close. Yeah, it's just about ready to start sagging. I have one other sheet of plastic if this one doesn't work. I think this will be fine because of how I arranged everything and rounded everything and prepared everything. Fingers crossed. I really don't want to waste the other sheet of plastic. Every sheet of plastic I waste, you know, is $25 plus shipping. So, all right, now it's beginning to sag. So I'm gonna mute the mic now because I got to do some stuff. Success! It worked on the first try. Now, there's some webbing right here and right here, so it's not perfect, but I don't fucking care. This is good enough for the prototype test. So, huzzah. Now I gotta cut this shit out. And it is out. Still very, very hot. Yeah, check that out, huh? All the ramps ready to test tomorrow. Yeah. So this webbing right here, let's see if I can zoom in on it. Maybe. Whoop. I don't know. It's hard for you to see. You'll see it when I pull it out. So yeah. So now I gotta swap power over to that thing again. And then cut. Alright, so I'm going to pull this over here more so you can see this apparatus. Alright, can you see? Yeah, you can see me well enough. Alright, so what do you think? Pretty neat, huh? Now, all of the bucks are stuck inside of this thing. So I'm going to have to get them out. And it's easy to get them out, you know, once I start cutting them. So let's do that. But I need my glasses. I always use my glasses when using this son of a bitch. Oh, wait. Forgot. I'm going to pull this out a little bit because of how big the thing is. Okay, as an example, here's one ramp. Now this is the entry ramp for the very back section. And it's supposed to be lifted, right? Well, if I take, a height, put it at the height, hey, guess what? That bends right down. You can't see that. Hang on. If I have it at a height, right here, and I take my finger, that bends right down. I hope that's visible. But so I made it flat, but it still curves down because it's really not going very high. I think it's going to go a little higher than this. This is obviously going to be way too high. Now this right here is like 2.5 inches. It's not going to be this high, but it can still flex down. See that? So that's the power of making flat ramps when you have certain types of curves that I've explained when I was making them. So once I cut everything out, I'm going to sand it all because this has lots of little cruddies on it, you can kind of see. Get this thing out. So what I do with these ones that I can, I cut out the front sections and I can get a flathead and I can shove it in there and kind of lift the whole thing up. Because it gets air in there, or it has a spot for air to get in there. And then the whole thing just comes right out. Okay, this is another one of those lifty ramps, right? Which also goes up. It's mounted right here, and it just bends right down. Easy peasy. Oh, something I didn't show you. Remember, this lift ramp mates into this. Right in there. See how that mates perfectly? So, and there's enough play in here to allow me to adjust it when I put them together. Alright. So, I need to clean these things up. My phone has like no power now. See, what am I at? Is it going to let me see? Yeah, I'm at like 5%. Well, you saw the bulk of this, I think. I'm going to kill the stream now, and I'm going to start another one in like a moment once I plug this phone in. Again, it's not going to have the nice microphone, but you know, you saw the majority of all these ramps being made and cut. Now I just need to finish it, and then I'm going to put them on here, which I guess I can kind of show you quick in the event that my phone has a problem. Okay, come on, stay straight. Actually, let's put this over here. What was that? That's not going to want to stay, is it? So I haven't cleaned these up. And I had another one around here. Let's just slide this in. Oh yeah, that's way too tall now, right. This will be 3 of these. 3 of these. Makes, come on. Get under there. 3 of these, 3 of these. And then this fits right there. See that? This fits there. This is eventually going to be mounted down like this. So it's going to be flat here. Pretty neat, huh? This comes perfectly down onto that. And then these other ramps, I'm running on borrowed time now because of the phone, but these other ramps, we got 3 here, 1, 2, I need another 1/2 incher. No, God. Times are ticking. And hey, this lines up perfectly right here, just as designed. This slips right into the backboard, just as designed. Hey, hey, works pretty good. Works pretty good. So now I just need to clean these ramps up. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna sign off for a moment, plug my phone in, then I'll sign back on with shittier microphone because I have to have this plugged, and then I'll clean it. So yeah, see you guys in 5 minutes or something. All right, so I'm back. I did plug my phone in for a little bit, and I went from 3% up to 14%, so that should give me, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. I think that's all I need in order to clean up these things. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. At the end, I will recreate this, because I do need to drill a couple holes on the ramps while I have the whitewood here. So, yeah, let's do this. I spent that time also just cleaning up a little bit because there's got various dusts and things occurred. This needs to come back a little bit more there so you can actually see the whole apparatus. Oh, one thing I didn't do that I'm gonna do now is I'm getting really annoyed by all this rattling. Because I think it's where's that bolt? What the hell is that adjustment bolt under there? Oh, there it is. It's right there. Come on. Oh. Fuck you. Let's go. not good enough. Okay, now that doesn't rattle as much. That was really getting bloody annoying. Okay, I do need my glasses for this, for sure. This is gonna have shit fly all over the place. There you go, one. Alright. Okay, so unfortunately, I don't have the 1.5 inch cutting bits here, or I'm sorry, 1.25 inch cutting bits here for the through holes on those ramps, like the ball end points. So I can't do that right now. But I can do the mounting holes. Here. Once I move my soda. This way, yeah. Oh wait, I lied. I have them here. Okay, so I can cut them then. The first thing I'm going to do is the mounting hole, actually. And generally speaking, right dead center is going to work fine. Good. the bit and cut these holes. So I'm going to start it off with this guy, and if this isn't big enough for some reason, I do have the step bit, which is a little bit bigger. And I keep a really shitty pinball here so I can see, yep, the ball does go through. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit using the step bit after I cut the other one. Oh hey, a little disc. Because as you can see, when I cut that, it has a lot of crud. I don't want that crud.